Talking hockey now, let's get him on the screen. Jamie Thomas, Winnipeg Jets radio color man from 680 CJOB, looking like $1 million. How you doing, JT?
Great, man. Where are you located right now? I missed out on the memo where the Rod Pedersen show has been moved to.
I'm in Dodge City, South Florida, my man. We'll be down here for a spell.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Well, speaking of, by the way, your first season calling Winnipeg Jets games last year, you were parked. So what do you know, unable to travel, what do you know about this season for Jets radio?
Paul Edmonds and I are fortunate enough to be traveling with the Jets for the time being. We all know how this is all fluid, right? So just had my first COVID test yesterday. We did car wash days with the players. So we'll be traveling this year, Rod. We're very fortunate. I know a lot of teams aren't traveling their radio and television crews, but we'll be on the plane when the Jets take off for their first, the preseason games. And of course, crossing my fingers, we're on that first California road trip when they head to Anaheim for their first game on October 13th.
Interesting, because we had Brendan Batchelor on the air last week, Canucks radio, and they didn't know at that time. Mm-hmm. So about the Winnipeg Jets, you guys are in the throes of training camp. I guess you're through 5-6 days of rookie camp. A lot of excitement at Winnipeg amongst the fan base, JT. How the rookies looking?
They look pretty good, right, Rod? And when you have a team that is clearly as veteran-laden as the Winnipeg Jets, there's a lot of guys that you take a look at, but a lot of spots are certainly set with this hockey club. And then clearly with the acquisitions of Nate Smith and Brendan Dillon in the offseason, your blue line is set. Nathan Beaulieu's back from all his broken bones that he sustained last season, so he's healthy and ready to go. So your blue line's set. And then up front, you kind of have some places to fit in. Cole Perfetti might get a couple of looks during the preseason. Kirsten Vesalainen, it seems like, he's not really a rookie, but he's been skating these past 4 or 5 days. And he kind of seems to be the front runner for the right side of their third line with Andrew Kopp and Adam Lowry, right? So now you kind of figure out where does everybody fit on the fourth line. And that's traditionally a place where Paul Maurice does not like young kids, right? It's not fair for their development to be in a spot where you're playing 6 to 8, maybe on a good night, 10 to 12 minutes. But for the most part, you're under 10 minutes. And that's just not how young players develop in today's NHL. So it's good to see a lot of the young kids. You see Andrei Svechnikov's brother Evgeny out there, and he was talking the other day about he taught Andrei the Svechnikov move that we saw the Carolina Star pull off a couple of times in the past couple of years. So, but other than that, Rod, it's business as usual for who's going to be on this roster on opening night in Anaheim.
Well, let me ask you this. Spent some time in Winnipeg, did some shows there, as you know, and I got that excited vibe from your fan base. But people want to know who the backup goalie is going to be because Laurent Brossoit signed with Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm thinking if that's the biggest issue is your backup goalie, you're in pretty good shape. Who do you think it's going to be?
Well, it's no question it's going to be Eric Comrie, Rod. He for all this kid has been through, he has earned this opportunity. And Wade Flaherty, the Jets goaltending coach, told Paul Maurice the other day that, I believe Eric can do this. He's really, the times that he's come and played in for the Jets and backed up a little bit, it hasn't exactly been, it's been like the second game of back-to-back or, there's been some injuries. So he hasn't really got a fair shake as the backup goaltender here in Winnipeg when Laurent Brossoit was here. So now it's Eric Comrie's net to lose in terms of the backup job. Now you have Mikael Burden down in Manitoba. Arvid Holm came over from Sweden. He'll likely start the year with he probably will. He will be with the Manitoba Moose this year. So it is Eric Comrie's job. It's there isn't a large amount of work here, a body of work in the National Hockey League, but Eric Comrie has earned this opportunity. And I think from what everybody's saying and from what I've seen from him and what I know of Eric Comrie, he's earned this right, and I think he's going to run with it.
Who was the defenseman, Jamie, that your general manager, Kevin Cheveldayoff, said is a beautiful fit for what we need? Was it Brendan Dillon or Nate Schmidt or somebody else? But I thought that was GMs don't usually gush about a player. Was it one of those two guys? Or do you remember the quote?
Absolutely, Rod. I certainly remember the quote, and I could see why. You can kind of see where two of them fit, right? And Nate Schmidt is great in the dressing room, high energy guy. And when you have a long regular season, as the players do in back to the 82 game schedule, you need those high energy guys to keep things going in January and when it's cold out and, you just get back from the Christmas break and you're like, oh man, there's still 30 plus games to go here. It's tough. So Nate Schmidt kind of fits in that way. Brennan Dillon would fit in another way because Andrew Kopp said last year after the Jets were eliminated 4 straight by the Montreal Canadiens, they need to be a tougher team to play against. Brennan Dillon fits that mold. So I know the quote. I'm not sure which defenseman it is, but I think you can plug it into either one of them, Rod, right? Because you add some size in your blue line, some toughness, and you got a Nate Schmidt, a high energy guy, is also very good defending as well. Like he teamed up with Alex Edler last year in Vancouver, even though it wasn't the best season for anybody with the Vancouver Canucks. That was their shutdown pair. So Nate Schmidt kind of fits in where the Jets need. You could probably play with Josh Morrissey and or Logan Stanley on the team's third defense pairing heading into this season.
From our viewers, Trevor Bazzillo in Winnipeg says, just because he's played a lot of games in the AHL doesn't mean he should automatically be our backup. I have Moose season tickets. He's going to cost us points. Talking about Comrie. Do you have a thought on that?
Listen, I respect everybody's opinion, and totally. When you see Eric Comrie play night after night at the American Hockey League level, you're entitled to your opinion, right? So, but I believe Wade Flaherty has a handle on Connor Hellebuck's not going to play 80 games this year. Are you really trust 10 to 20 18 to 20 points to a guy that can't play the game in the National Hockey League level? I don't think so. And considering what division the Winnipeg Jets are in, Rod, in the Central Division, it's a highly competitive division. It is one of the better divisions in the National Hockey League right now. So I think that's a lot to put on somebody that's not prepared or able to handle the pressure of being the Jets' backup goaltender.
Hey, last one, Jamie. James Zylstra's watching. His question's kind of similar to my last one. Says the Winnipeg Jets just have to beat the Colorado Avalanche in their division, man. I've got the Jets pick number 2 in the Central, and I don't think it's going to be that difficult for them to do it. I mean, what do you think?
I think it's, you look around the division, clearly Colorado's the class. There's not even a doubt in my mind. We can't overlook St. Louis. Whatever happens with Kirill Kaprizov, I think that's something that bears watching for the Minnesota Wild, because I think they're going to be a handful. Nashville's thin on the back end. When is the last time we've said the Nashville Predators are thin on their back end? I don't think we've said that for a long time. Chicago was supposed to be part of the rebuilding project. That train went off the rails real fast in the offseason. I still think the Jets are ahead of them in that department. So I'd have to agree with your viewer right there, right? That they are clearly a 1, 2, or 3 in this Central Division. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. It's starting to get it was warm yesterday, but hockey season is just around the corner. So I can see why Jets fans are highly encouraged by what's coming on and what they've done in the offseason, because it's a team that's ready to win. It's a team that's set to make the playoffs and do some damage in it.
I think it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Jamie, enjoy yourself. I appreciate the time. I know how busy that life is, and let's do it again soon, my man.
Yeah, you do it. Enjoy yourself down there, buddy. You deserve it.
Thanks, man. My good and longtime friend, Jamie Thomas, Winnipeg Jets radio color man from 680 CJOB, Manitoba's information superstation.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of the Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.